This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at Stockton Con.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of Stockton Con. The value of wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, man, shout out to Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. We done shut the shit down. Love and respect, all right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is, and if you don't, you better call somebody. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Value Wrestling. Welcome to the Value Wrestling. Welcome to your post show for your Smackdown for March 15th, 2024. This is your Smackdown review show. Counting down the days to WrestleMania. We're on the road to WrestleMania. This show hit or miss on angles. Almost seems like they're starting to, I don't know, the further the Rock goes heel, the more the fans like him. We got boos on Cody. We got cheers for the Rock. It's getting a little upside down, a little topsy-turvy. And there's a big debate. Did we get a little bit of the Hollywood Rock? Did we get a lot of the Hollywood Rock? Did we get Rock transferring into the final boss? I think we got a little sprinkle. I mean, if we go back, Hollywood Rock was the original Rock that came out and sang to us. So I think in the beginning, we've kind of, and maybe it's just me, but I think we've gone through the periods of the Rock. We got the Nation Rock, that first era Rock with the cheesy catch lines where he was talking about knocking herpes off of people's lips and their 50 wives and their 60 incest-bred children and all that yummy stuff, to growing into the Rock that we saw tonight. And then tonight we saw that Rock transition from the singing into a more final boss Rock, a more serious Rock that I think we've been building to. He got a lot of chants. He got a lot of cheers. I guess he got some women flashing him on the hard camera side. That's why we got a black screen for a moment. We got an I love yous. And we got some booing of Cody and Seth tonight. Is it good? Is it bad for business? I think it was good because I think in the end, The Rock established himself what he was going to do. And I think it kind of pushed away with that over chanting, but we opened the Rock. He came out to his music. Some people are going to go, oh, it's the Hollywood rock music. It's the same variation of the rock music. They've just changed things slightly about it, like they've always done. The Rock's music's pretty much been the same since Nation of Domination. He started playing this music. Originally, he came out to Nation Music, but then this music started to come out for him, and it slowly transitioned to different variations, different speeds, different tempos, different little elements, little tweaks, kind of like they've done with Flair's music. Everybody who's ever done Flair's music, it's slower drum beats in the band, faster drum beats, slight differences, just like Goldberg. WCW would beat one way. When they brought him to WWE, they tweaked it a little bit. So the Rock's music over the years has tweaked. This is just another variation where they've kind of slowed it down, trying to make him feel heelish and Super Boss, and that's what we're getting. I mean, we got Super Boss Rock tonight. He talked about how he got his first match in Memphis, and of course we were in Memphis, Tennessee tonight, so he played the Memphis. He played Memphis up because he had his first match in Memphis on Channel 5. Lots of big pops for that. Brought back the Flex Cavana, and we didn't get the Rocky Maivia or the Rocky Die, but hey, we came close to it. The Rock talked about Rollins and Cody and things along with them. Then talks about Memphis Grizzlies star John Morant, and before mocking the Cody Crybabies, then we get Evil Rock. He talks about Rock's mama, Mama Rhodes, and promise her he's gonna beat her son with the belt, the weight belt, the Rock's weight belt, and bleed him, and then he's gonna hand it to her. So good Rock promo here. It was solid. Rock by himself, very interesting. We didn't get the rest of the bloodline here tonight. We just got Rock. And yes, Charlotte's version of her music is a mix of her dad's and hers. Yes, okay. But yeah, I think we got, and he said tonight, if you can smell what the final boss is cooking, I think we had a good opening. We got variations of the Rock. I think overall, whether this is Rock's final hurrah, whether we're seeing, Rock kind of building to the end. I think in this whole thing, I think we've seen small glimpses of every variation of the Rock we've seen over the years, that he's now progressed. I don't know if that's because he's the end of his career or this is just the way they wanted to tell the story. I think it was very minute, and so if you really look back over it at all, you might see it. If you don't, then, it is what it is. But I feel like we've just seen this small growth of the Rock and what he's done over his career. And of course, once the Rock loses or beats Roman or faces Roman, however you want to put it, is there really anything left for the Rock, the WWE at this point, to do? So, I mean, you go into next year's WrestleMania, you have Rock Roman, Rock beats Roman. It's a tie. We don't know. I've heard it's going to be in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I've heard it's going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada. We haven't had an official award. Do you retire the Rock? Do you put Rock in the Hall of Fame next year and then let him go wrestle Roman and go down and defeat to pass that, and then Rock can go back to Hollywood and, be done with wrestling? Like, that can be his final chapter. I'm sure he might come back here and there, but I don't know. I don't know if we're getting, and again, what does The Rock really do after Roman? Yes, he can come back and maybe wrestle some younger guy. I mean, if some talent comes up, that makes sense, yes, but I really don't think we're going to see anybody built in the time where The Rock's still going to be in condition enough to really give it. There's nobody there. I would say The Rock might have another 5 years left in him, maybe 10 at the most. I mean, he's got to be, 50-something by now? I forget. I think he's in his 50s, but I mean, he's right.
I believe so, too.
I think, he's got 5 more years, 10 more years really at most. Yes, we know Sting went into his 60s and still wrestles. We know Flair's 82 still getting out there going, but the Rock isn't these guys. And I don't think The Rock's going to go out there if he doesn't have the body that he wants. And, as you age, your body's not going to stay in that shape. I mean, we can look at Jericho. Jericho, I think, tries every once in a while, but sometimes it just doesn't. But, yeah, great promo from The Rock. Your thoughts?
The first half with the singing, I was like, we've seen this before. I mean, it was kind of entertaining, kind of funny, but it was like, I've seen this before. Now, when he got up after the singing and he actually did his promo, then I was like, okay, that I can buy, that I can get into.
Well, the
And I
singing
thought it
rock,
was good. I mean, even the singing, it's like
I didn't put much behind it. It was singing rock. I knew it was going to be for laughs. I'm like, they're just giving us that part of rock because it existed and people were clamoring for it. I mean, people have been asking, well, we want Hollywood-esque rock, and that was kind of in that time period when it was Hollywood rock. He did it for Goldberg. He did it for Vicky, and one of the greatest ones, he attacked one of our local cities, Sacramento, for it too. Sacramento sucks, if you recall. So I think they gave us that as a throwback, and then they gave us the serious rock. And that's why I feel like we've seen him go from, I'm going to slap herpes up your lips and your blah, blah, blah in Utah. And over the last few weeks, I feel like we've seen this growth, which is very reflective of how he developed his career. So I don't know if that's just me reading into that or if there's been a subliminal message of that. And then it felt like tonight he became the final boss. Like after the singing was done and he got serious, I'm like, okay, there's the final boss rock.
I'm definitely more interested in Final Boss Rock than.
Yeah.
I want to see his past work. That's what the WWE, or excuse me, Peacock is for.
Once you get Rock Roman, we would be Rock's final match. That's my take, unless there could be a young. I don't know if there's anybody young enough that's available right now. I mean, and you're talking, you got 5 to 10 years. I don't see anybody there that The Rock would really have anything left. Cena's almost done too. I just, it's about time for them to kind of fade off into the sunset. We got The Rock back, and I don't think The Rock needs to overstay his welcome either.
Yeah, I mean, as far as a wrestler, they need to fade off to the sunset. As far as making appearances, there's things they can add, segments, whatever, that would be beneficial to the show.
Oh yeah. No, there's things they can do, like you'd like to see Ric Flair use for, and other names that they could come in. Especially, it's going to be like the names that we're hearing that Triple H is bringing in for WrestleMania weekend. We're hearing Ron Simmons, we're hearing JBL, we're hearing Kane. We're hearing Michelle McCool, but I mean the Undertaker's going to be there. Michelle McCool could do some good. So there's places that we can see the Kane and the Rock, or not Kane and Rock and Cena coming in the future, where they can play those roles, host, have some fun, do whatever, and not be wrestlers in this day and age. From there, we open with our first tag team match, which is a tag team qualifying match, meaning whoever wins this match will go on to face the winners of the match later, and the winner of that match gets into the tag team six team the six-pack challenge ladder match for the tag team titles at WrestleMania. That's a lot to say. So WWE giving you a tournament style, very small, but make sense, giving reason for each of these people or each of these teams to earn their right into this six-pack ladder match, title match at WrestleMania, which is awesome. And if you look at the other brand, it's recently come out that they're posted tournament for the new tag team championships, and they've left off like half of the teams that are on their company's roster. It's just like, let's just spotlight the ones we want. So we'll talk about that on Sunday. So there's a teaser. If you haven't looked at it, come back Sunday. We'll break all that tournament down because I got a lot to say about it, and I'm sure some other guys are going to have a whole lot to say about the tournament they just posted. But anyways, we got Legado del Fantasma versus the LWO, Angel and Humberto versus Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. And good solid match between these two teams, as you expect. Showing the Lucha Libre style, a beautiful Spanish fly. Wilde comes in to clean house, but Angel throws him into a kick to the ribs from Humberto and for a pin at 9 minutes, 10 seconds. And Legado del Fantasma will be moving on in this tournament. Good solid match. Unfortunately, LWO just takes a lot of losses. I don't know how they're going to be taken seriously. LWO is starting to die, and it's just sad to see. I want to see
LWO. It's been Joaquin and Cruz from their NXT time when they were a part of Fantasma. So it's like they have taken losses from the start, even before LWO was reformed. I don't understand why they don't do something with them.
Oh, I know they're becoming the Carlitos brothers,
Primo and
Primo and Epico and the Clones. Yes.
Yeah.
The clones. They're becoming the clones of wrestling right now, which really, really is disappointing and sucks. Your thoughts on this match?
Match was cool, but as we've seen how they've been using Angel and Humberto's, and it's like they're giving all the wins to Legado. I'm just like, what are you doing with the LWO? With Rey Mysterio being the only one that can get a good pop and get a good win? I mean,
yeah,
I'm a little
disheartening.
I just don't know what to make out of it. Yes.
Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. We are talking about SmackDown post-show review for March 15th. And join us in the comments. Join us in the conversation. Here we are. Doing great things. Play will continue on. Anyways, we get Caleb Braxton on the ramp in some weird setup. I don't know why we did it this way. I get kind of what happened afterwards, but I felt like we could have done this backstage and been more impactful than on the rampway. Anyways, Caleb Braxton here. She introduces us to LA Knight. Wade Barrett getting all happy because he gets to listen to him talk. Wade Barrett must be an LA Knight fan. Knight talks about how he's been looking for AJ, who thinks Knight needs to be humbled. He's standing right here, so why not come out here and humble him? There's no AJ Styles, which doesn't shock Knight. Styles will go all the way to Australia, but he can't come to Memphis. Knight says if Styles can't show up here, how about he shows up at WrestleMania? We get a catchphrase, and here is Styles to jump him with a chair and accept. And that was checking off a box, and so now we have a match. That was kind of, we were waiting to see where this is going to go. Glad we're going to get it. Can't wait to see it, but this could have been done in the back.
I agree. I mean, we acknowledge that they were trying something a little bit different, and that's cool, but yeah, even I think in the back would have been more impactful.
Yeah, this was just weird. On the rampway, like it wasn't in the ring. Why didn't we get in the ring? I mean, he could have still snuck up to him from behind the ring. I mean, there was so many other ways this could have gone for both of them. It was just weird, and I don't know. We get a video package of Randy Orton attacking KSI and sending Logan Paul running last week. Paul comes into Aldis's office and wants to know what kind of punishment Orton is facing. Aldis thinks Paul should request that apology in person, which Paul doesn't like. How can he expect Aldis to do his job when he can't even find Paul a WrestleMania opponent? There's that story. A fired up Jimmy Uso accepts Jey Uso's challenge. And we get the announcement SummerSlam is going to be in Cleveland. And this was a little haphazard. Jimmy does a great promo, but it was just kind of like, okay, yeah, I wish they would have done this in the ring, but they've given Jimmy a little more of a moment here than this to, feel a little more important. I mean, Jimmy got Jay got time in the ring. Jimmy just kind of got a backstage little blip.
That and the fact that I felt like they stayed on Jimmy's face too long at the end of his promo. Like, okay, we get it. You're trying to mean-mug your brother. And it's like, it didn't make it any more impactful after it kind of went too long for my taste.
Yeah, no, it felt like Jay was more important. Of course, I'm sure Jay's going to win. I mean, that's kind of where we're going. And This is just kind of, it is what it is. From there, we got Randy Orton versus Grayson Waller, which I was kind of like, okay, cool. Grayson Waller going to eat another L here. Austin Theory is here with Waller. And then Logan Paul comes out to interrupt and join on commentary. We get Theory trying to intervene and eventually gets a Hangman's DBT from Orton. Theory distracts it, and then Waller bails before he runs back in and gets RKO. On Waller, the match ends at 7:37. The more fun, though, was the post-match. The boys try to beat down Randy Orton, and this is when Kevin Owens comes out to make the save. And there's a beautiful moment here where Austin Theory gets hit with the KO stunner, and then comes down, bounces out of that, gets a little air, and gets RKO'd. And you have to give it to Austin Theory to make that. That was, going from a stunner to an RKO in one singular move was very impressive. I mean, if you don't think these guys got some talent, go back and watch how Austin Theory took that stunner and then made himself, move forward in air to get hit with that RKO. It was beautiful to see. So I gotta give my props to Austin Theory for taking both those moves in such a great way. This then cued Nick Aldis, who came out and said he's got Logan Paul's opponent for WrestleMania, and then he goes, opponents. We're going to get Logan Paul putting the U.S. title on line against Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Of course, Randy almost KO'd Kevin. Kevin pushed him away. Then Randy was like, my bad. Very interesting dynamic. Can't wait to see how this match goes going forward. We look at Bayley being thrown out of Damage Control on the way to her title shot at WrestleMania. Dakota Kai is ready to destroy Bayley before she can get to Io and WrestleMania. And Damage Control runs the show. Santos Escobar and Dragon Lee. The rest of Legado del Fantasma is here with Escobar. And this is a great match between the two. A running Hurricane Rana takes Berto off the apron, but Lee walks into a Phantom Driver for a pin. It was a quick match, but the interference of Legado del Fantasma causes Dragon Lee, of course, post-match beat down. Carlito makes a save. He's taken out as well, but Rey Mysterio comes out and chases everybody away. And then Rey Mysterio, of course, issues a challenge to Escobar at WrestleMania. So we're getting Rey Mysterio versus Escobar.
No, not WrestleMania.
Next week. That's right. We're getting that match next week. I'm sure this is going to build further into WrestleMania. But you're right. It's next week. We're going to get Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. Your thoughts?
I was like, it's too early. First thought WrestleMania would have made more sense to me. And it may still wind up that way with, shenanigans or whatever. This match obviously was just to further the feud. That's it.
Yeah. No, I don't know how next week's going to fall apart, but we'll have to see how it elevates. I don't know if we're going to get a multi-man team, if we're going to get an 8-man match or a 6-man match in this. Will Andrade play a role in this? Of course, Andrade's been more tied with Dominic Mysterio, so I don't know what we're going to get out of any of this. So it's kind of a wait.
I don't think Andrade's going to get tied into this.
Yeah, I think I just threw his name out using things for a moment. Trying to run with it. I was trying to sell it. Anyways, from there we got the other tag team tournament. The winner of this match was going to face the winner of the previous match, which was Legado del Fantasma. So whoever wins this match will face him, and whoever wins that match will get to go on to the WrestleMania 6-pack challenge for the WWE Tag Team titles, which is going to be a 16 ladder match. They can carry this feud to War Games. I don't know if they can carry this feud to War Games. Not Legado del Fantasma and LWO. I don't know if that can last. We got another 6 months before we get to November. I don't know if people can stay.
God, I hope not.
Endearing into this.
Not unless they cool off the feud and then restart it or something. But
yeah, I don't
straight through.
This isn't your main event in the War Games feud. So yeah, I don't see these guys. I think your War Games this year is either going to be another Cody and whoever he's teaming up with the new Bloodline, or it's going to be a Bloodline Civil War-esque feud with whomever may be filling in roles. So some of that's going to be wait and see how it plays out going forward. Anyways, we got Pretty Deadly versus the New Catch Republic. This was a good, solid match. Both teams looking really strong. This was a UK style match for sure. Bates put Dunn back up. They get the Birmingham Hammer to finish off Prince's match with 13 minutes, 11 seconds. The New Catch Republic are your winners, and they are moving on in this tag team tournament. Good, solid match that you expect between these guys. The New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate looking really good. I think they will be the ones that are going to beat Legado del Fantasma. I think Legado del Fantasma will be tied into a tag team with Santos versus Rey and the other boys. I don't know where that's going to go, but I definitely think the New Catch Republic are going to be in this ladder match, and I think that's actually kind of scary in a way because I don't know what you're going to get from Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne in a ladder match. I think we can see the young strong boy with that ladder around his neck swinging it around, and then who knows what Pete Dunne and a ladder can do. So I definitely think they're going in. I can't wait to see some of the other tournament matches. We know next week it's going to be the Street Profits versus the Authors of Pain, and I forgot who the other two teams For now. Damn it.
But as far as the New Catch Republic, so what you're saying is they're moving on up.
Yes, I definitely think they'll be there in the end. I wish I could remember what that other team was. Your thoughts on this card?
The match was cool. You expected, I kind of expected New Catch Republic to go over just because that's who they've been building. You know, between the two teams, like Pretty Deadly, just kind of they are a very good team, but they're used to get other people over right now.
Yes. Pretty Deadly is a good, entertaining team, but they're not right at the peak yet. It's going to be a little time. Oh, it's going to be the Young Boys. Who are the Young Boys facing? Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are taking on that other team.
Theory.
Huh? Good cat. You sound so angry back there, tearing that thing up like it's nothing. Okay. It's the Street Profits versus AOP. And, oh, yeah, that's right. I said this earlier. The OC are getting love as Duke Gallows and Carl Anderson will face off against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory to get into this tournament. So that makes it really interesting. I don't know if you have Grayson Waller and Austin Theory beat Gallows and Anderson. I don't know if you have Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins Street Profits beat AOP. If AOP wins, then you're probably getting Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. No, you're getting the OC. If the Street Profits win, then you're probably getting Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Now, out of all those teams, I don't know who I'd want to see in there. I don't think it. I would probably hedge for the OC just because they're a decent throwaway team that you would like to see in there and see what they're going to do, but they're not going to win. Where the Street Profits and AOP, you're not really ready for I think there's more for them to feud at WrestleMania than to put one of these teams in there. I guess AOP would be okay too, but you'd have to bury them. Now you could put Grayson Waller and Austin Theory in there to give them something to do, but I don't know. We'll have to see. It's going to get interesting. But that's next week. And in the end here, we have a women's main event. WWE Triple H. Are they saying, hold my beer? You want to do a women's main event on your show? Well, we'll do a women's main event. That might be a little more important. Not taken away from the women that wrestled in the match on the AEW Dynamite, Will Nightingale and Riho. Not that they're not great talent, but the match just wasn't, at that level where Dakota Kai and Bayley had been built to feel like, hey, we can watch this at a main event level. So, I mean, this is a great, solid match. Bayley and Dakota Kai, of course, this leads to a whole different story. And, of course, the other thing that we'll talk about here in a second, I'll get to there. But anyways, in the end, Damage Control interferes. Bayley gets the win by DQ at 7 minutes, 33 seconds. Bayley gets beat down by Damage Control as a group. Eventually, Naomi comes out to help and gets beaten down herself. The crowd starts calling for Bianca, start calling for Belair, and no Belair answers, thank God. Don't want her around this. She already made her statement about how she feels about Bayley. I hope they don't turn her into a big softy like, okay, Bayley's gotten her beat down. I'm going to come save her. It's going to make me want to vomit all over the place. I don't want to see Bianca anywhere near Bayley at this point. She should have other things to do. This is continuing the feud. I would hope they would maybe let Bayley stand at the end because, we always talk about how DX is running the wrestling industry, but it would have been really nice to have Bayley maybe standing at the moment for right now because you could have the Boss Hug Connection standing tall at the end of 2 wrestling shows from 2 different companies, and the Boss Hug Connection could have ruled wrestling for 1 week. I thought that would have been an awesome moment, but unfortunately, Bayley was laid out by Damage Control. Didn't really get her upcomings. We know what's going to happen at WrestleMania, and that's fine, but I was kind of sad because I'm like, they could have made a really big moment here just for a brief, even if it was just for a week. You could add the Boss Hug Connection moment if you would have let Bayley just kind of stand there at the show closed out instead of Damage Control. I get the storyline why you had to have Damage Control coming out strong, but I thought for one night maybe you could have rewrote that. But your thoughts on this match, sir?
It was cool. I like both talents. Obviously, we know I'm a Bayley fan. I'm also a Dakota Kai fan. I kind of figured they would have some kind of shenanigans, like it wasn't going to be a straight up match, and Bailey winning by disqualification just proved me right. But then again, I also think because this is not the payoff, even for just between Bailey and Dakota either. I think they're going to circle around back to that at some point down the line. Maybe in a title match, maybe just to have it. We'll see down the line.
Yeah, no,
But,
it'll be interesting.
I think this was a good, nice test, especially since this was Dakota's, first real match back. I mean, you can say the tag match, but her actually wrestling and not just betraying Bailey.
Yes. Overall, good, solid match. We ended with a women's main event tonight, which was nice to see. That kind of made more sense in some other places, but yeah, no, but a good, solid match for a good, an average show, really. I mean, The Rock's promo in the beginning really set it up. My wife said a match with women who could go can always keep a crowd into the match. Yes. So the crowd was definitely a little more involved tonight, but I don't think we got any big shocker moments. I think The Rock coming out in the beginning set the stage, and I think everybody kind of tuckered out. The Rock was the big moment of the night. Everything else was kind of just decent filler. Just didn't make it a really great show. Didn't make it a must watch show. We are definitely kind of putting pieces together. We got 2 matches tonight. LA Knight, AJ Styles at WrestleMania. We'll see what that plays out to be. I wonder if that's going to be an Extreme Rules, a street fight, or it feels like that match may wind up being a little more than just a one-on-one match with all that's coming with it. Huh?
You would think so. Just the way they've been building it.
So we'll see. And then we got the triple threat for the U.S. title, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. It's going to be interesting how that plays out.
I got a prediction for that one already.
Logan Paul beats both of them.
By hook or
Go ahead.
By hook or by crook, I see Logan Paul walking out with that title thanks to interference from Team Young Boys. From Jason Waller and Austin Theory.
Well, and KSI. So there's possibly, some shenanigans that are going to go down into that.
KSI doesn't, I mean, he took a good RKO, but I don't see him really doing much. He's not a trained anything.
Well, but I mean, for interference sake, I mean, KSI's technically, KSI's technically got to come back and get some payback on Randy. I mean, he doesn't want to go down looking like a booch. You know what I'm saying? So, in an interference way, I'm not saying he's going to get in the ring and wrestle, but he might try to hit Randy Orton with a chair and then get a stunner or something. I don't know. I think you got to remember the triple threat match that throws out all the DQ rules. There's no disqualification. So
even more.
That does change the whole aspect of that card and how that plays out. So KSI, the Young Boys, I think we're going to see a lot in there. The interesting aspects are going to be how Randy and KO interact in this match, since they seem to find friendship with each other. When will one of them turn on the other?
Yeah, but when the U.S. title's on the line, you'll see them go at it at some point.
I know we will, but it'll just be interesting seeing that interaction, because I'm sure in the beginning they're going to try to take out Logan Paul, but what are we going to get when they have to actually, start fighting together? The only thing is, I would have to say Logan Paul is probably going to remain your U.S. champion, which is okay. I'm ready for some. I mean, I feel like he's bigger than that title at this point. I think there's other people who could be carrying this title. I definitely think it could have gone to, being on an LA Knight or several other people. Even Austin Theory or Grayson Waller could be carrying that title right now, because they're more in that place. Where Logan Paul is a little higher than that. He is on a main event level and he feels important. He's given everything, but the way he wrestles, it's like, I feel like there's other things. Like, I could have been happy with the Logan Paul Randy Orton match without a title involved and to put the title somewhere else. But, here it is. And I'm like, I think Logan Paul is going to walk out, because I don't see why Randy needs the title. And I don't see Kevin Owens needing the title. I mean, if anybody else outside of Logan, I guess you would give it to Kevin Owens, but I just don't see Randy carrying the U.S. title. It just feels wrong on him, for whatever reason. That, and I feel that Randy's
you see him as world title main event status.
Yes.
Even if he doesn't have a title at the moment. Yes, he feels above the U.S. title, of course.
Well, and I feel if Cody's going to finish his story, I think Randy would be the next obvious opponent to turn on him. Of course, Babyface Orton right now is one of the best Ortons we've ever gotten, so I don't know if you want to burn that yet. I think I love Orton where he is right now. It just seems like he's having natural fun. So I'm like, I don't know if he necessarily needs to turn heel yet, but I mean, the option's there, so
Right.
it's going to get interesting on how that plays out. But yes, U.S. title match, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a great match. I can't wait to see Kevin and Owens and Randy Orton get at it, see what they do with Logan, see how the Young Boys interfere in this match, see how KSI interferes in this match, what is going to help, Logan Paul win this match on the biggest stage of them all. It will be very, very interesting and very, very telling. The tag team tournament, for tournament's sake, I'm glad they're kind of doing the tournament and making everybody earn their way into this match. So that's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see more of this. We know DIY is taking on the Creeds this week on Monday Night Raw. So on Monday Night Raw, they're taking on the Creeds, and I'm kind of like, ooh, I didn't see that coming. I'm assuming DIY is going to win that. I would have thought they would have put the Creeds in this match. Not to say that we're not going to have a bunch of matches and then the loser bracket's going to happen and whoever wins the loser bracket might get in here too. They really haven't put out a quote-unquote bracket to follow. They're kind of throwing matches together as we go. So, this DIY has got to be in this match. I mean, I don't know how you don't put DIY in this match. I guess you could put Awesome Truth in this match for the tag team titles. It's just going to be interesting with the Miz trying to get R-Truth to do the right thing or the wrong thing or I don't know what R-Truth's going to do. So if he's in a ladder match, he gets thrown over.
R-Truth doesn't know what he's going to do.
If R-Truth's in a ladder match, does that mean when he gets thrown over the top rope, he's going to be like, oh, I got eliminated and walk in the back?
Oh my God.
Instead of being like in a rumble and climb a ladder? I mean, how is this going to play out? This is going to be a banger match. It's going to be great. I hope nobody gets hurt. At least I know it's WWE, so I don't have to worry about anybody dying. Unlike other companies where you're always like, oh.
Please don't die. Please don't die.
So, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Now, there's an interesting rumor that's breaking that Damian Priest may cash in at WrestleMania on night one against Seth Rollins. That he may cash in the midst of this tag team match. He may cash in, or after the match, he may cash in his Money in the Bank. So
I don't hate it per se.
Well, and I think
the only thing
is,
what does that do with the match with Drew?
Well, maybe Damian Priest takes that spot. I don't know. I just think everybody's hating on Damian Priest. Oh, Damian sucks. Damian doesn't mean anything. The Money in the Bank's holding him down. We should get rid of the people are calling to get rid of the Money in the Bank. Because the last few people who won it haven't done anything with it, and Priest is just wasting it. And I'm like, he's not wasting it. There's a story there. You just have to wait for it to pay off. Now that story, maybe he runs out of time, and we've never.
What is this? Long-term booking? What?
I know.
What is this you speak of?
And he may run out of time. He may get to the next Money in the Bank. I don't know. I have a feeling that Rhea's going to lose her title, and you steal his briefcase to cash in, causing the falling out of Judgment Day. I just have a feeling that, somehow Damian Priest is going to lose his briefcase by accident, or it's going to get stolen or misplaced or whatever. And it's going to be a very manipulative. You're going to really have to expand your mind a little bit to buy into it.
He goes in to cash it in. He has the briefcase, but he opens the briefcase and the contract's not in there.
Oh, I mean, it could even be that. It's going to be interesting. I don't know. But I think he's going to come out fine no matter what. But people are like, oh, he needs to leave. He's worthless. He's being jobbed out. I'm just like, you people are all angry about he doesn't. Like, no, he's where he is. He was so hot last year. Now he's nothing. He's a jobber. Like, no, he's right. He's a world tag team champion. How can he be a jobber? I mean,
right.
Give me a freaking break.
He's definitely not enhancement talent.
No, I mean, he's doing what he needs to do. So I think that's going to play out just fine and be okay. I just can't believe people are just like, And the other thing, the people that are getting on Cody, that Cody's too emotional. Well, what do you want Cody to be? This is his story. He wasn't an emotional underdog. You said Booker, man. I thought you were talking about the Booker T incident. But anyways, Cody, everybody's upset. I mean, this is what Cody is. He's the underdog. He has to be emotional. This is what's made Cody great. But here's the other aspect that I don't think anybody's talking about. What happens when your emotions get the best of you? What happens when all those emotions boil over and take control and you snap? Could Cody not be building to what could be one of the greatest heel characters if he ever has to go heel? I mean, if he's emotional now, what happens when those emotions take charge and he snaps? I'm just saying.
Well, I think we kind of got a preview. It's called AJ Styles.
True.
In his feud with LA Knight.
Yes. But I think we could have something awesome there. So I don't think you can knock Cody for being too emotional. I'm like, he's right where he needs to be. He's doing everything he's supposed to. The Rock's doing great stuff. You know? So Seth Rollins, yeah, we'll see what's going to happen with Seth Rollins. It's going to get interesting. Drew McIntyre looking like he's going to take that title off Seth Rollins. So I don't know where that leaves Seth Rollins coming out of WrestleMania. Of course, if he turns on Cody, it could change the whole cluster of the show. And, yeah. So we're, just a little over 3 weeks away from WrestleMania. A little over 3 weeks.
We inching closer. Day
we're
by day, almost
closer.
there.
And we're inching closer. Yeah, we're almost at 300 subscribers. I mean, we had a great day today. We had a big jump. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get those next few, and hopefully by Sunday we'll be over 300 subscribers, and Sunday can be like this huge, big Renaissance party. 500 videos uploaded onto the channel, which is awesome. 300 subscribers. I think we're heading in the right direction. It's really starting to kick up. I mean, we're on streaks right now. I mean, 5 days in a row with 3+ subscribers. Knock on wood, let's not jinx that, but celebration time.
Well, in the words of Michael Jackson, we want to be starting something.
Exactly. But no, a decent SmackDown. Not the greatest. I think The Rock stole a lot of the energy and the thunder. He came out first, and then everything else was kind of didn't really get a. I mean, good matches. Not taking away anything from the people in the ring. It was good quality matches. It's just to show a lot of the other stuff didn't feel as important. And yes, Mr. Z, we are making moves, and we're making moves, and we're going to talk about that in details on Sunday. So at Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we'll be here with the Value Wrestling's weekly roundup. We'll talk about everything that went down in this week in wrestling, including Booker T and CM Punk almost getting into a confrontation over a muffin, which Booker T denies and says everybody's making it too much out of it. We'll talk about the AEW Tag Team Tournament. We'll get everybody's thoughts on how that tournament's going to turn out. We're going to talk about, I know. We're going to talk about something that pisses off some other people that, other podcasters who want to whine and cry. Now, granted, as a fan of professional wrestling, you love wrestling for what wrestling is. And ratings shouldn't be important when you're just a fan watching wrestling. We're here talking about it. Yeah, we're going to talk about ratings. It doesn't make me a less of a wrestling fan because I talk about ratings or I look at ratings and go, oh, why do I look at ratings? Because I want to see what these companies are doing. WWE, their ratings are decent. Could they do better? Sure. But when I see AEW tanking, it pisses me off. Why? Because it means Tony Khan's not booking the show right. Why is he booking stuff when I want to? And the biggest thing is I want to see AEW. I'm not here to say I want the death of AEW. I want AEW to succeed. But if he can't hold his audience and can't bring in new audience, if he's just holding on to the same people every week, he can't grow. He's not going to get better, and he's never going to be competition for WWE. And the fact of the matter, what's going to be best for wrestling, what's going to be the best for the wrestlers, for the fans, and everybody involved, is if AEW gets to a level where they can feel like competition to WWE again. Until then, AEW is a subpar hanging in there just a little bit above TNA. So, yeah.
There is one other metric, though, I would think you would want to look at besides the ratings, and that's their pay-per-view buys.
Yes, no, we can look at pay-per-view buys once we find them. I haven't seen too many of them. And they're not, their last one was pretty decent, but that was Sting's final match. Some of the other ones, I don't think World's End was very high. They're not blowing it out of the park, but they're doing decent here and there. But we also know, we look at the attendance in the arena. It's way down from where they originally started. Now, yes, they had a big sale for tickets at last pay-per-view, Sting's last match. Yes, they did a big number this week for big business because Mercedes Moné that debuted. But the bigger irk is, we're going to talk about ratings. We're going to look over the ratings and see what happened. But, when somebody comes on air and goes, "Oh, you're not a wrestling fan," or you don't know anything about wrestling if you worry about ratings. As a wrestling fan, no, I'm not worried about wrestling. So I like to watch it, but when we come here and do business, yeah, we look at the ratings because we're like, what is it that maybe hurting AEW? How does AEW do better?
Now, is this podcaster, does he happen to be from New York?
Oh yeah,
of course. Okay.
well, I get aggravated when somebody tries to state like
I
you're not a
understand.
wrestling fan because you do this, and it's like, no, you're not a better wrestling fan than me just because I look at wrestling in a different way, and what I come to bring to this table is different than you. Doesn't make me less of a wrestling fan. But yes, it kind of irks me a little bit when you try to categorize people and say, "Oh, you're not real wrestling fans if you do this. You're not real wrestling fans if you don't see all the stories in a tournament that was put on that after it was done meant nothing." And what he praises, yes, and what he always praises and worships always just kind of goes sour. All these things that he praised and worshiped, I'm like, but you know what? They really come back to bite you in the ass after you praise and worship him. I'm just saying, I don't think he's a shill for any company, but I do disagree with how you can be a wrestling fan. I don't think there's just one way to be a wrestling fan. I think every wrestling fan is different. And I think every wrestling fan looks at things differently.
Just between you and I is different.
I know.
And we watch the same companies.
Yes. No. But I mean, I think ratings in the instant, especially when we're coming here and talking about things, it's like, And when you look at these ratings, you kind of go, what is going on? Why are they this way? If you maintain an audience, that's great. But what are you doing to get better? Because in the end, if you're not growing that audience, if you're not bringing in the rest of that audience, it's great to give a show to those pure wrestling fans that you love and adore, but how long can you hang there? Now, that TV station, TNT, TBS, and Warner Brothers Discovery, could give them another 5 years on TV, but at some point, that TV rating and that show and that program, some point, those people are going to look at it and go, okay, wait, we're not, we need to see increase. I'm sorry. Business is business when it comes down to the end of the day. You're not increasing you mind? I'm not a chew toy. At the end of the day, if they're going to look at them and go, if you're not increasing ratings, it doesn't bring us any value. Ow.
Absolutely.
But we'll talk. Don't want me to talk.
That Sunday.
So yeah, we're gonna being mean. But we're gonna talk about that on Sunday. Mr. Miguel Z will be here Sunday to talk about. Did they not hear us on Sunday? 3 different options. Yes. Mr. Z will be here on Sunday to tell us what's going on in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling, where they actually know how to put on a tournament that actually is interesting, that actually entertains the fans and gets fans excited. And ladies and gentlemen, we do, we're going to talk about Mr. Z and the quality of growth. I want to give him a moment. I think it's quality growth over the shows. He's getting much better. We applaud him, and we'll definitely talk about that more on Sunday. It's definitely a great show to go watch. And then, of course, we got everything else for the week. We'll be here Monday with Monday Night Raw. Wednesdays with Dynamite. We'll be back here with SmackDown on next Friday. Tuesdays is your New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast with Mr. Z. And, of course, on Thursdays, we have the weekend preview, which is the week starting on TNA and going all the way through SmackDown of the next week, telling you what to expect, what's coming on to get you excited for what you're going to watch.
Goes through AEW Dynamite.
Oh, okay, AEW Dynamite. But
because
SmackDown would be Friday.
Thursday through Wednesday.
Yes, Thursday through Wednesday. There you go. That makes sense. I'm a little off. Anywho, so you get that capture. We pretty much got content coming at you every day of the week except Saturday. So Saturdays are kind of our down days. Sundays we're here all live. And then we're usually here live. And of course, right now I'm running the daily episodes of This Week in Wrestling History, which is a short, which you can catch every day of the week. Make sure you're watching that because there's lots of great stuff to learn there. And so, yeah. Any thoughts you want to say?
Plus, Saturday is open. Wheelie Saturday is open for pay-per-views and premium live events anyways.
Yes.
So when those happen, whether it's Saturday or Sunday.
No, those are big days for that stuff. Big event days. And we know, of course, WrestleMania weekend's going to be huge. That'll be a 2-night affair. We'll cover both nights because, we're like that. And then I don't know. I can't promise you that Sunday there'll be a weekly roundup. we'll let you know, because that's going to be an interesting week. So I guess it depends on how that week goes leading into WrestleMania. Yeah, I'm getting excited for WrestleMania. We're going to get to watch it. I hope next year's WrestleMania is in Vegas. If it's next year in Vegas, I think, we may have to figure out how to all get there. See. Maybe the Value Wrestling can be live at WrestleMania in Vegas if it's there next week. If it's going to be in Minneapolis, I don't know if that's a bigger option. If it's in Vegas, a little more easier for us all to get to. That would be an awesome time, an awesome party. Las Vegas, the Value Wrestling. Hell, didn't know Marty Richards loose in the streets of Vegas talking about wrestling. That could be a whole different story.
And your favorite photographer would have to catch that video, all of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it would be a great show. I mean, I know where that's a whole different scenario and how that would all play out. But yeah, I think I want WrestleMania in Vegas, because that would be awesome. Diva, Las Vegas. So we'll see. I'm hearing Minneapolis, so it may be disappointing. We know SummerSlam's going to be in Cleveland. So Cleveland rocks.
Right.
Big deals there. So anywho, anything else you want to say in closing before we get out of here?
I think we good for tonight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your Value Wrestling post-show review for SmackDown for March 15th, 2024. We thank you for being here. Appreciate each and every one of you. Please vote in the poll. Give this video a thumbs up. If you're watching this later, give this a thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications so you always know when we have new content or going live. And also drop your comments in the comments section below. If you agreed with us, disagreed with us, tell us what you thought if you're watching this later. And finally, hit that subscribe button. We're 2 away from 300. That would be awesome. We're on our way to 1,000. We need each and every one of you to hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Value Wrestling family. Become part of what it should be, the fastest growing podcast in the wrestling podcasting world. We are here to be contenders, not pretenders, and that's a guarantee. And we're coming at you, and I promise you there are many great things to come. There'll be a very special interview coming very, very soon. Hopefully before WrestleMania, but can't make promises. We shall see. But we're working on it. May lead down a whole new road to bring you a lot of new content that'll bring us into a different world. We may be able to start bringing you Independent Wrestling Federation right here on the Value Wrestling and getting to you guys to know what could possibly be some of the stars of the future in the world of wrestling, which could be really exciting. So stay tuned. Join us. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you on the next one.
It's your boy